Oh, wow, second stream today. So the goal right now is to go through these open issues on use auth and fix them, or at least answer, because, well, I think because it's very nice that there are people using this open source thing that I created and commenting on it and having trouble, so I want to help out and make it as useful as possible, right? Also, I'm very hungry still. Hey Fuzzy Buddy, how are you doing tonight? So let's start with the pull requests. Excuse me. Pull requests are always the easiest to deal with because most of the time you just say yes, that looks good, merge it, and move on with your life. So I'm gonna open the actual repository. Now let's see. Add details about persisting user login between refreshes. That seems useful. So this guy wrote, let's see what the original was. Love this model, so easy to integrate and work with. Just wondering one thing, from what I can tell, this should persist the user being logged in between refreshes, or am I being slow? It's logging out user between refreshes, local storage value still present. Same here, seems like something isn't working on the auth0 side, the model returns an error. Need to seems like we're not the only ones dealing with this issue. On a walkthrough here, if you search the page for keeping users signed in after a refresh, it will take you to the bottom of the page. You find a section having to register the app with whichever provider, an example, in my case, Google, you're using. I'm gonna try this and report back. Awesome, tada, it works. So this is the kind of community engagement I really like. This person had a problem. I ignored them for 2 days. They solved the problem on their own, and then even committed a PR to add to the documentation to say how they fixed it. That is just like the ideal of what you want from the community. Amazing stuff. Let's see. Add details about persisting user login between refreshers. What did they change? Handle authentication post login route account. So this is just reformatted. After you set everything up and you're using social sign-on methods, you'll notice that refreshing doesn't keep your user logged in. Thumbs down, I agree. If you're using an IDP such as Google or GitHub to provide identity, you will need to register an app on auth0 to enable this behavior. The steps to create this behavior are a bit nested in docs, but can be achieved relatively simply by following the guide. Set up social connections. On the auth0 side, the guide follows steps for Google sign-on. Your mileage with other providers might vary. For a more detailed understanding of why this is happening, you can have a read-through blah. Auth0's guide. Pro tip: search for keeping users signed in after refresh. To jump straight to the section in question. This project follows perfect. I'm just gonna straight up merge this. Thanks for your great work, Omonk. I totally would get bitten by this at some point in the future. And then we're gonna tell the bot to add Omonk for documentation. So all contributors, please add Omonk for documentation. Comment, merge pull request. Let's see if the all contributors bot worked. Unexpected token in JSON at position 1841. What did I mess up with my JSON for the all contributors bot? All contributors bot. Wow, my words aren't working today. cd ... use auth, git status. What did I change? Git pull origin master. Now let's see, what did I mess up with? What was it? All contributor source. Let's change this to using JSON mode. JSON. And let's see what is wrong with it. It says it's fine. So this should be working. Okay, git status, git commit -a-m. Aha, this is wrong. So fix the JSON, fix all contributors JSON, git push origin master. Let's see what happens. I hope the bot will be smart enough to just retry, because if not, then I'm not sure how I'm gonna fix this. Okay, let's try it again. All contributors, please add omonk for documentation. Comment, I'm gonna merge this request. And let's see if the all contributors bot makes a new one. It does, wonderful. So we now have the omonk guy as a contributor as well. So it changes the contributor source file and adds a new row of contributors down there. Perfect. Approve. Oh, we don't have to approve it. I can just merge it. Merge pull request, confirm merge. Awesome. I can delete this branch. Go here to the code repository, and we have auth identity providers, persisting login after refresh. Awesome. And now olymonk is down here as one of the contributors. Amazing stuff. So let's move on to the next issue. So yeah, if you were expecting a super crazy fun stream tonight, this might not be it, because open source maintenance, as it turns out, can be pretty boring sometimes. But this is important stuff that needs to get done if I want this library to ever reach 1000 stars, right? Which I do want it to reach 1000 stars. Guidance on use case, save user to server after registration. I was wondering if Swizzets or anyone could offer any guidance on how to persist a newly registered user on my server after sign up with auth0. Before integrating use auth, I had a login form that would collect name, email, password, about me, etc. Then hit my GraphQL server, create a user entry in my user table, and return a JWT for use in subsequent requests for editing properties in the user's model. I'm not seeing a clear path forward on doing something similar with use auth. Is this not a good use case for use auth? I don't think there's a direct way to perform this workflow as it stands today. This is what I would do. All right. Let's see. Pure Garlic commented, great question. Who was it? Keep forever. The basic idea behind auth0 and other auth providers like it is that your server doesn't actually have user models. You're meant to what was it? You're meant to leave that completely to the auth service. However, you do sometimes need to authenticate users on the back end and do things in their name. Auth0 provides functionality to do that. Let's see, auth0 server side. I know I've done this before. Oh, it's legacy. I've used this guide in the past. You can see my code before I had use auth, but with auth0 in this never finished project. Let me go find the project. It was the thread compiler, because that one has authenticated users and does things in their name on the background. Thread compiler. Let me see. Backend logger handler JSON, and we have here this stuff. Okay. Other than that, I would do what Pure Garlic recommends. I am about to release a version that exposes the user's ID token to you. Okay, so that's going to be the next thing we're gonna do. Because we now have two what is it called? We have two issues that where people are asking to have access to the ID token of the user. So we're gonna go add that here in use auth, where we are exposing the user. What is this thing? This is new. What? Okay, why does VS Code keep adding random things to my code, to my editor? So let's see. We have the user model in use auth. Where is it? So when we authorize the user in state, so we have state.user, so use reducer, or not use reducer, we have the auth reducer. Auth reducer gets, so we log in the user, we set expires at, we set the user, and we get the user from auth result, right? Const auth result user comes from the action. Wow, I have forgotten how all of this stuff works. So handle auth result, we get the, where does handle auth result go? We get the dispatch auth 0 and auth result. So then auth result goes into set session. The session gets the access token and then dispatches either the error or the login with the auth result and the user. Here let's console log the auth result and the user here, so that we can see if either of those have a token. So we're going to console log auth result and user. Come on, be in React mode. So auth result and user, and then I'm gonna go into the Gatsby use auth example, and let's see if I'm using dev dependencies. Why am I not using relative deps here? So we have use React use auth is added, but let's use it as relative. So GitHub relative deps. I know this is a project that exists because I used it from Moech. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I never know how to pronounce his name, but he's cool. So we are going to add relative dependencies for React use auth, which go dist. Yep. Okay, so we've got that. Now I can go into my use auth example code. So cd examples use auth Gatsby, and we call yarn start. So this is going to start the Gatsby project, and then we can check what gets printed when we authenticate. And hopefully one of those things is the engine node is incompatible with this module. What? Engine? No. The other package.json has an engine? Engine? No. Package.json, show it to me. Engine? No. Okay, I have no idea what this is complaining about. So let's see, localhost 8000. Wait until bundle finished. I'm waiting for the thing to load. Pa-pa-da-pam. By the way, is my stream dropping and being slow today as well, or was that just an occurrence the other day? Okay, Let's log me out. Did it? Oh, I don't think it actually ran the thing. Let's try that again. Let's go into here, cd // use auth, and we have to say yarn dev. So that runs the micro bundler so that it's going to keep compiling whenever we change something. And then we restart Gatsby. So circular dependency, yes, I don't care. And I think that loaded. Aha, okay, now it loaded. Now let's reload this one. So this is going to be kind of cumbersome because we're working with two different projects at the same time, even though they're in the same repository, but it should be fine. Yay, Christina, thank you. I'm really happy that the stream is a little better today. I wish I was able to stream at super high resolutions so my computer wouldn't suffer so much trying to scale everything down, but it is what it is, right? I will eventually buy a better computer. Eventually. Okay. Log in. Does it console log? Oh no, not yet. I need to go Swizzits, log in, auth 0 callback, and okay. So here when we are resolve, where does the navigation happen? Let's add a debugger statement here, and then that's going to rerun. Come on, stop trying to do audio voice recognition thing. Cancel. So that compiled, and now I'm going to yarn start the Gatsby project, and hopefully that's going to mean it works now, because I'm not entirely sure that I'm actually using use auth this, building React use auth. I know what I need to do. Instead of saying that we're going into /dist, we just go into .. // and I think then then relative dependencies is going to work. I hope. Let's see. Waiting for the thing. Ow. Okay, Gatsby develop. Please finish running. Alright. Reload the page, and we will see what happens. Okay, that ran, and it didn't run the debugger, but it console logged. Oh, I think microbundler takes out the debugger statements. That's funny. Cool. So we have the auth result with the access token and the ID token. So what we can do is expose the tokens, right? Should we expose the tokens? Let's see. The user gets email verified, nickname, picture, sub, updated at, but it doesn't get the ID token. ID token, access token, app state. You know what? I'm just gonna save the whole thing into state, so then people can get it out if they want to, right? I think that makes sense. So we're gonna go in the auth reducer. It gets auth result, an action auth result expires in. So the auth result is going to should I save the whole thing? What do you guys think? I'm not sure exactly what people need, so I'm just going to save the entire auth result. So we're going to say auth result is going to be saved there, and then on log out we're going to say auth result is null. Cool. And if there's an error, we're going to, let's say let's keep that the way it is. Actually, no. If we're nulling everything out, let's do it here as well. So auth result becomes null. And now in use auth, here, where we get the state, user state.user, here we can export state.auth result. Just in case somebody wants that stuff, we're gonna keep it around. Cool. Now, hey Adrian, how are you doing today? So now that I have that, I'm going to save it. Git cd git status. We're going to say git commit -a -m expose auth result object from use auth hook. Or should we just give the ID token? Let's see, what do people actually need? They need, if the ID token is valid, then read the user's ID, and access token of logged in user. Just in time, I also need to, I haven't tried it, I've made some changes to local version. You could easily change this to query one of your databases or make an API call. Okay, thanks Adrian, I'm happy you like my haircut. Cool, so I'm just going to expose that, and then let's go into the readme file, create the callback page, enjoy use auth, checklist for configuring auth 0. What was it called? This guy just added the readme, so I'm gonna take him out of there. Let's find, where was the enjoy use auth? Persist. I know the, come on, I know this is there. Check, what's it called in the readme? Persisting login after refresh. Persisting. Why is that not there? Git pull origin master. Ah, yes. Git stash. Git pull origin master. Git pull origin master. Come on, how hard is that to type? Cool. Git stash pop. And now I can go into persisting login after refresh. Tips and tricks, persisting login after refresh, and let's do access users ID token, users access tokens. Due to popular, since version 0.40, use auth exposes the entire auth 0 auth result object, so you can access your user's ID or access token. This is useful when you have to log the user into your own backend as well as the front end. For reference, we have this issue. Where is it? So we have, oh no, we have these two issues. We have this one and this one. So we have issue 11 and issue 22. Wow, that sure adds up. Like this. JavaScript, and then we say that this is let's see, what was I gonna call, what was I gonna say? Function some component const auth result equals use auth, and then we can say console log auth result dot ID token, right? I think that's the one that it was. Auth result ID token, console log auth result dot access token, etc. etc. I recommend printing the auth result object to see everything that's available. Cool. Please don't access the user object. No, actually no, that was a different print. Okay. Cool. So we've added the documentation, and use auth now. Is it still console logging? Nope. Perfect. Is the auth reducer console logging? No, it's not. So we've added that. Git status, git commit -a -m. We're going to say add auth result to, what was it? We're adding it to readme. So we can now git status. Okay, we can now actually npm version minor. So this is going to become version 040. And then I say git branch to, nope. I forgot what the command is to add a message to a tag so that it shows up. There we go. Down 4 and we said that we added we exposed the auth result object. Expose auth result object via use auth API. Cool. So we've got that. Git push origin master -- tags. So we created a new release. Now all I gotta do is npm publish. npm publish. And I need to get my phone so I have the authenticator code so that I can actually publish this. All right, authenticator. Let's publish this thing. Where is it? npm, where are you? 9536. Quick, before it changes. Was I quick enough? Yes. Okay. So now we gotta tell everyone that we released this. At, who was it? Jack Franklin, at NW Richmond, at Pure Garlic. Who else was asking? At Blue Matter. Just published version 0.40, which exposes the full auth result object, which contains your access token and ID token. And let's add a nice peace emoji. Like that. And let's get a nice link to the README here. Like this. We add that into my comment. Where is it? Where did it go? Bam. Got that. So I'm now gonna close the issue because I think this solves the problem. So closing the issue, and let's go to the next one. This one, guidance use blah. So we at keep forever at Pure Garlic just publish version 040, which exposes the full auth result object, which contains your access token and ID token. Wonderful. Close and comment. So we're now down to 4 open issues. 4 open issues. persist login status on refresh. I think I can actually close this one. Thanks so much for your help and research, oh monk. So I'm gonna close and comment that one as well. We're down to 3 open issues. Nice. Oh. So if use auth is a singleton, how to unit test the component that uses it properly? Oof, this is a tough one. My question might be specific to the general way of testing context API in React that acts as a singleton. I believe it's a great help to showcase how is this use auth library is going to be tested, since it seems like a singleton. So let's see, is it actually a singleton? This is a great question. Chunk seed. Use auth might look like a singleton, but it sort of isn't. Every time you render an auth provider, we create everything from scratch internally. We create everything from scratch internally. That means that so it's not a singleton from that perspective. We create everything from scratch internally. Auth0 client is instantiated, state object is set up, etc. From that point onward, all children components share that same object, though that same state instance, that same state, and auth0 client via context. So if you wanted to test this, my recommendation is to render a new auth provider whenever you want, a new auth provider for every test. That ensures you get a clean test every time. If you want to test that, multiple components correctly share that state, then I'm not really sure. I suspect you're then going into the territory of testing React itself. That said, I should probably add some proper tests to this library. Okay, so I think that kind of answers the question. Let's see, re-render issues. So this is going to be an interesting one. Let's add this guy again. So now how do we fix? I think now one of the problems that I have now is that everything re-renders all the time. So because of how the auth provider is passing state into the context, it means that we are re-rendering all of the children too many times, or too often really. So I gotta figure out how we're gonna solve this. So context HTML caveats, and while we're there, I'm going to merge the latest commit from the all contributors bot so that everyone is properly listed in the contributors. Okay, code. Wonderful. Look at how many contributors we have already. This is pretty cool. So let's see. Re-render issues. How can I, first of all, how can I test this? Second of all, how can I fix it? That's the real question. So let's see what the problem is. Because context uses reference identity to determine when to re-render, there are some gotchas that could trigger unintentional renders in consumers when a provider's parent re-renders. For example, the code below will re-render all consumers every time the provider re-renders, because a new object is always created for value. This thing. To get around this, lift the value into the parent's state. Aha. So let's see, instead of having the value here, we are going to actually use state here. Will using state be the correct approach? Actually, yes, it will, because let me try something really tricky. This is going to be kind of ugly, but I think it's going to work. So instead of creating a new state here, we're going to put it all in the default state, and then the reducer is going to automatically take care of that for us and keep passing it on. The only problem is going to be the dispatch function, which we don't have yet. Yes. Let's try it. So I'm going to move all of this stuff and put it in the default state, so we're passing it in. And then here we're going to pass the state object, the same as we used to. And we're also always going to say state.dispatch equals dispatch. Right, so now we're going to be injects dispatch method into state, thus ensuring we don't have unnecessary re-renders, thus helping with re-renders. Yeah, so we're going to take this stuff, put it here, and let's go into the reducer. Now the reducer needs to make sure that it's not overwriting those values. So here, instead of returning this, we're going to have to return ... state. No, not debugger. Why? State with the rest of the stuff, like that. And this one is also going to have to keep the state and then override the rest. And here again, we're going to have to keep the state and overwrite the rest. Yes. So let's see if that still works. So I'm going to yarn start here, and we will see. I'm crossing my fingers that this just magically works, because that would be really cool. And then we're going to release a new version if we can. So we are rebuilding React use auth, or the example repository for it. Rebuilding that one. Come on, build. Cool, cool, cool. And now let's see if it actually, if the library itself still works. So I'm going to reload this page a couple of times until I can actually reload it. I guess I'm waiting for Gatsby develop to actually finish. Let's see. Burp, burp, burp. Come on. Okay. Is this working now? Nope. Cannot read property user of undefined. Well, that sure didn't help. So everything gets very confused now. Index module JS. Where is it trying to read user of the state that doesn't work anymore? Reload the page. Please work. No. Okay, so that doesn't work. So let's go back into the auth provider, and here let's try console logging. Hey, the militant penguin, my new role is actually going pretty well, I think. The only problem is that it's taking a lot of my time, so I haven't had as much time as I would like for blogging and stuff like that. So I'm kind of behind on all of the ideas I have to write about. But other than that, it's going pretty well. Yeah, it's just been very busy lately because it's like a very busy period, so we have a lot going on, but yeah, it's going pretty well actually. I'm enjoying it. Now let's see, why isn't this shit working? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Load. Why is this always taking so long? Come on. Like, I wonder what's happening between those two. It always says it takes 0.07 seconds, but it actually takes like 20 seconds. So it's kind of curious. I'm also trying to figure out why this isn't working. Hey, Reese Code, what is that emoji? So we have user expires at, callback domain, dispatch function expires at, navigate user. Yeah, so all of that is there. Cannot read property user of undefined. Where are you trying to read user of undefined? See, this would have been very useful if I could tell what's going on. User of undefined. Use auth. Are we trying to get user here somewhere? State.user. Okay, what about here? Console log state. So, oh, that's what's wrong. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I am raging against the build times. So we no longer have state and then the other objects. We kind of merged everything together, which is silly. We don't really have to do that, do we? So instead what we can do, yeah, this was a silly approach all along. Let's go back to what we had before. Come on. So, okay. We're going back to what we had before, and then we're going to say, instead of const state and dispatch, we're going to say const context and set context is going to be use state, and this use state is going to start with the dispatch function. It's actually going to be exactly this stuff here. So use state, right? And then we're going to pass in the context. Let's call it context value. Context value and set context value. And we pass in the context value. And then we're going to have a use effect. So this is a onload. Verify user is logged in on auth provider mount, and then we're going to have a use context here. Yes, so use effect, sorry, not a use context, but use effect that's going to run when the state changes, and this one is going to update context value and trigger re-render. So we're going to say set context value as context value and state, right? Come on, save. So this way, this pattern avoids unnecessary deep renders. And I'm going to copy paste this thing here, like that. So this should, in theory, work better. We have the reducer that holds our authentication state, holds authentication state. So this is our context value. This updates the context value and triggers re-renders. This verify users is logged in on auth provider mount, avoids storing sensitive data in local storage. Then we render the context provider with our context value, which now, because it's done via use state, no longer gets generated from scratch every time that anything touches the provider. So in theory, that should just work, right? I think so. Callback domain, auth0 callback, API v2, token ID token, all of that. So instantiate auth0 client. Okay, now let's see if that works. It rebuilt microbundle, rebuilt our repository or our library. Now we can yarn start and see, do a bit of raging against build times, see what happens. And I think this library is still going to just magically work, which is what we're going after, right? Da-da-da-da. And now the main change from a couple of minutes ago is that our context value has the same shape it had before, instead of state and the other stuff being merged together. Use state is not defined. How dare I? And why did nothing warn me in my editor? Use state, yarn start again. So it's rebuilding the library. Then we yarn start, which I think is going to trigger rebuilding the library yet again. And then we're gonna see what happens. And I think after this one, I'm going to say that's enough work for today. And I'm gonna have to go do some other stuff, because I do have a launch that I'm preparing for next week. Reload the page. This site cannot be reached. How dare it? Reload. Come on, reload. Reload. Please load. Load, load, load. Page, page, page. Come on, page. There we go. Please work. Yes. It logged me in. I can log out. Reference error type is not defined. Where is error type not defined? Okay, let's try reloading this page. Okay, something is wrong when you are logged out. Awesome, but let's see. Git status, git commit -a-m, avoid unnecessary re-renders due to context gotcha. Cool. We've got that. Now let's figure out where there is an error type that isn't defined. Error type, check session. Aha, this one, because it's error type, not just error type. Cool. Let's start the thingy again. And I think now it's gonna work. I think this was basically a bug that nobody has yet found. Hey Candy Cane, you like my new haircut? It's like, it's one of those things I get done every 6 months or so, so it's pretty noticeable when it happens, right? But I had to do it. I'm hosting a workshop in 2 weeks and a bunch of other things are happening, so I need to look good on camera for the next couple of weeks. Okay. What is complaining about? Error type is not defined. The above error occurred in the end component. Consider adding an error boundary. Uncaught reference error. Error type is not defined. Okay. So let's see. Error type. No. Are we calling it here? Error type user info, error type auth result. Then in the auth reducer, error type. Wow, how the hell did I do this? How old is this code? This is from 2 minutes ago. How did I add a comma there? How? What? That makes no sense. Okay, let's reload. Let's do yarn start and see if Gatsby works now. And then we're going to release a new version, and I think that's pretty good for about an hour of work. 2 new versions of an open source library. I'm a fan of that. Load. 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 Please load. Please load. Please load. Load now. Load. Why did I bookmark this? Remove the bookmark for my local host. Hello 14 folks. I don't know where you all came from all of a sudden, but I'm just about to wrap up. Oh, I guess it's getting close to morning in Europe. Is that the thing? Is that what's happening? Reload page. Yay, it loaded. Okay. Now will it work? I am logged out. That seems to all work well. I can log in. Right? Can I log in? I'm going to type my password, log in. Goes to callback, redirects to home page. Perfect, that worked. I can reload the page and I'm going to be logged in, and I can log out and it redirects me to the home page and it still works. Reese Code, where are you located that it's 1 AM? It's a very weird time difference because it's 11:30 PM here. So you must be like Denver? Thereabouts? Seattle maybe? Is Seattle in the same time zone as San Francisco? I'm not actually sure. Okay, we fixed that one. Git commit -a -m. Fix bugs with fix error type undefined bugs. Texas, nice. I've never been to Texas, but I've always wanted to go. I heard that Texas has some really amazing steak if you know where to look. So we're going to say npm version patch. Yep. And then I'm going to go git tag blah. So hoist context value into state and avoid unnecessary re-renders. Cool. we've got that. Git push origin master minus minus tags. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come to Texas for steak someday. I really like steak. Git pull origin master, and then I can push. Git push origin master tags, and I'm going to run npm publish, and then we're gonna be done for today. npm publish. The OTP is going to say what? 043241. And let's see, did it publish? Perfect. Now I can go into my into my issues here, and I'm going to tell Hendrix that we have fixed it. Thanks for the report. Thanks for your bug report, Hendrix. The issue has been resolved in v041. Just published. Close and comment. And we are done. 526 stars. Yes. Cool. So yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again tomorrow, the day after. I'm not sure yet. Maybe both. We'll see. I might end up streaming every night this week. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you again next time. If you subscribe, you'll actually know when next time happens, because I am pretty bad at announcing these things in advance. Bye.